Hey everybody, it's Everett from Hood Time Welding. Today we're going to be doing a little different project than we usually do. So my youngest got the driver's license the other day, and all cool and everything. But went to Walmart, got some stuff for their first drive alone, and when they came home, everything had been good till they tried to pull into the garage. Our garage is a little bit narrow, and they caught their one mirror. So as you can see here, they hit it, and they actually broke it off. Right now it's just tape holding it. I tried to do some JB Weld. Sorry, I'm just making sure you can see what I'm doing. Anyways, I did try some JB Weld, but then my wife's one cousin needed to borrow the car because their car was broke down. So I tried the JB Weld, and it just didn't quite stick. I don't know if it didn't have long enough to set or what. But today, we're going to see what we can do to get a little more permanent fix. Now, pretty sure, we'll have to pop this inside plate off and see if we can get a look. I've got a thought on how to get it fixed, but we're going to have to see if it works. So, we're going to go ahead and put you on a view from my head so you can work along with me. But that's what we're working on today. I know it's not my usual stuff, but I figured something a little different is always good. My series on the basic welding, I think I'm going to hold off on the last two of stick and TIG for just a little bit until I can do a better job of actually taping the welding. I'm just still haven't quite gotten the hang of it. I've been trying some different things. I've been practicing, but we do have some other stuff in between. So anyways, like I said, we're going to go ahead and get started on this, see what we can do with it. And thanks for joining me. So we're going to start off by taking this cover off here. Of course, watch the video, and it's just supposed to pop right off, and as you can see, it did. So the next part, let's go ahead and get these screws off, or bolts. So I'm thinking I can, I'm not sure. It's going to be a, let's take it apart and find out type thing. I'd watched a little video on how to replace this that somebody else had, that one of the automotive channels had done. So I have a clue about how it comes apart. We might have to pop the rest of the door panel off. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to see if I can just do it this way, but I'm not sure. So like I said, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these screws out. And we're going to have a look and see what it looks like behind there. So you can see it's sort of peeled off from there. I'm not sure exactly how that comes out. Well, let me get my screwdriver here. Should pop right off, you would think. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. So I'm thinking we might be able to shove some bolts through and get her back together that way. I'm not sure if that'll hold. Just trying to figure out some too. We get this gasket. It's probably like a soundproofer. Out of the way. I think so. There's that. Hmm. You don't want to mess with that. Okay, I see. I don't know if you can see it, but there's 3 smaller screws right here that have broke off. And I think if we replace those, and I know it's going to look a little funny, but I think if we replace them and go ahead and just put some screws all the way through, we'll be alright. Now the trick will be finding the right set to get those out of there. I think I might have something in here that can get those out of there. That one might be small enough. Let's see. This is one of those tools that I have to pick up over the years. Nope, it's even smaller than that one. I know I have more. I'm just trying to remember where they're at. I think they're up on my table. Let me see. Yep, right in that one. Let's go ahead and dump this out. Looks like a little tiny torque. There's a real small one. It's another one that's pretty small. So we just want to get those screws out of the way. See if one of these will work. There we go. Backside spinning. Let's get a pair of pliers. Be able to hold on to that back side and get that out of the way. I think these needle nose will work just fine. There we go. That's what we wanted. The reason I'm doing this, they're junk anyways. The reason I'm doing it this way is I'm going to use these 3 holes because I know that's what usually supports this. So we at least know those 3 spots will be good. There's number 2. Let's see if we can get this final one out. Now there is one main support piece that I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do that one yet. It's like pretty much with most of the stuff I do, I just take it as I go and figure each thing out as it comes. So we got those out of the way. So what we're going to actually do is, there's still some alignment pins on here. That's not quite right. Go in here. Let's figure this out. Well, this isn't as easy as it looks. Okay, I see what I did there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is run a small drill bit through those three, so we can put a small screw on the back side. I know those two are definite. You know what, we might not do this side, but we'll do these two. Get those two. And then for this section, probably going to throw one right here. So let's go ahead and get our cordless drill and some drill bits, and then we'll have to find some screws. I also sort of have to keep an eye on the clock because I'm supposed to be ordering dinner here in just a little bit. Probably about that size will do. Alright, I'm going to hold that all. Go ahead and make sure my hand's out of the way. Okay, so we got those two. And let's go see what we can find for screws. We want something short, which I have you'll see I have a whole bunch of screws here. Nuts, bolts, pretty much everything that I keep on hand. You know what? These will probably be a real good size. Yep, 1, 2, 1 to 3. Let's get some lock washers, these tiny ones, and we'll also get some regular washers on it. So the only thing I'm worried about is that you're only going to be on the plastic. So I want to make sure we have some big enough washers that are going to hold on and the plastic not break. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. 3/8. 3/8. So we got our pilot hole. We have our other holes. Might have to drill them out just a little bit to get the next size up. So let's put all this right here. Let's see what size drill bit. Probably that one right there should work. Not that much bigger, but it is a little bit bigger. It's 3/32 up to 11/64. going to start by putting a screw through this one. And I'm going to come from the outside, and I actually should have grabbed another washer to come from the inside. As things are trying to fall for me. And it's a little bit of a tight fit, but I'd rather have it that way. We're going to end up having to silicone these a little bit, because we're not going to want water, you know, making its way inside the car. Almost there. I hate regular flatheads. I know that was what they used to use all the time, and my old house is there to prove it, but never been one for straight flatheads. They just aren't, I don't know, you just can't get the grip on them like you can with the Phillips. Alright, so we got that. Instead of running back over to the toolbox, I'm going to just grab one of my washers from here. Throw my lock on, and grab a nut. There's one. I reamed it out just a little bit. There's the bigger, now to the bigger washer. We'll have to grab some more for we get to that last screw, but this will get us started for this one. Come on. There we go. I felt it pop through. Another nut on the back side of this one. Let's go ahead and get these two tightened up. See how we're looking. I don't know if we have anywhere where we can catch some more meat on that. I don't know. So we want it to try to keep it sitting flush. So I'm thinking, throw one more screw right there. One screw there, and probably one right down here in this corner. That should do us all up. So let's go ahead and get some more screws. Oh, where'd I get those from? That's the problem with having so many, I forget where oh, there they are. Alright, now we need to grab a bunch of the washers. Two for that side, one for either side. Small one, small one. One for either side. Sorry, I usually talk to myself as I'm doing stuff like this. Yep, those are those. Let's grab 2 locks. And 1 more nut. Not quite right size. There we go. So that should get us the rest of them. We might have to cut apart that, oh, I already had that. So, not a lot of places here. I gotta pick a spot. I think right about here is probably the best one. Yeah. So, we're also going to probably have to nip the ends off on these screws just a little bit to get that styrofoam back in place. But right now, let's just worry about getting these all on and tightened up. So I'm looking at this. I think we're off on this alignment a little bit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually take this one back apart. I think we need to widen the hole on the outside up a little bit. So you can get this, as you can see this right here. And like I said, we're already going to be sorry, train of thought there. We're already going to be throwing a little bit of silicone around them. So I think we'll be good. If I can get the dang thing to come out. There we go. Alright, so that one's back out. So what I'm thinking is we'll actually I'm going to go grab a clamp and grab the silicone. So that actually will probably help if we put the silicone under that inside washer. Again, just stuff comes to me as I'm doing it. Don't always think it through right from the beginning. And sometimes it just makes life easier. So we were coming over here for a clamp. We have one right here. So what we're going to do, we're going to actually clamp that baby a little bit. There we go. I actually should have, just like I always say, should have thought of something else. And the other thing I should have thought of is to grab a rag so you don't get silicone all over. There we go. Loosen that up. We're only going to need a little bit, so what I'm going to do is take that screw up underneath right here and put some of that silicone. See if we can get it to squish out when we put this in. I don't know if that's the better plan to do or silicone them after. One of those you not sure until you actually do it what's the better plan. I think it just might be as easy to silicone them after. Because it seems like I'm just getting a whole bunch of silicone on my fingers. Still a little bit of bow there, but take the clamp off and see what she looks like. Took a little bit of it out. Alright, so we want one more screw. I'm thinking the best place for it will be right down here in this corner. There we go. So the trick is, once we get this all put back together, is to see how she's going to fit in. Like I said, there's a styrofoam behind it, so that's going to give us some space. But I think, like I said, I'm going to have to go ahead and knock off these two longer screws at least, as I'm trying to lose the one lock washer there. See if we can't get our cutoff wheel. Just knock the tips off of these, and I think we'll be able to. Alright, there's that. Well, I'm going to stop for just a second here. I got to call in some dinner orders, and then we'll get back with you. So sorry for the interruption there. Like I was saying, I had to order dinner. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to nip off the ends of those bolts that are sticking out. We're going to want to try to be very careful. There we go. Got them nice and short for us. I'm going to go through one last time, just make sure all of them are nice and tight before we try to finish buttoning this up. Just have to be careful we're not over tightening because of the, it's plastic and all. And then the next trick will be to get the styrofoam back in place, because like I said, we're going to be running into it because these bolts are in places that they weren't before. So, see how we can do with that. Alrighty. So first styrofoam piece is this one here that goes around the wire that we got to figure out. So just like that. There's one. Now for the fun one. Figuring exactly, don't remember exactly the orientation on this. But it's not that. I think it might be. Nope, not that either. There we are. You can see it's pushing out on those slightly. So we're going to go ahead and get one of these nuts started. On the inside here. There we go. Now we'll go through and get those 4 nuts back on. After we get, there we go, that wire was coming up on us a little bit. There we go. So the styrofoam's holding us out a little bit here with the, because of the extra distances. You know, it's not cut out for those new bolts that we put in. That one's tight. So I think I'm going to run a bead of silicone here just because, you know, we want to keep the water out of there. And we'll throw a little bit around each one of the screws. But other than that, that's all done. I mean, I know it looks a little bit dorky, but this is my teenager kid's car. I'll be surprised if they hit it again. These ones suck because they don't fold like on the newer cars. So they're just going to have to be really careful. But, yeah, it's just something different that I was going to do for them. You never know what you're going to hit here on Hood Time Welding. Sometimes I'm just fixing a car up for one of my kids or fixing something for somebody else. Never know. So, thanks for joining me as always. Big thumbs up if you liked it. Like I said, these weird little projects, I think they're just a nice little break from some of the other stuff I do. But we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.